Well, Happy New Year. Thought I'd do an update on the tanks. So this is a Juwel tank. You see it's coming on quite nicely. Pretty much as it was. Been having a few. I've been having quite a few algae issues at the minute, which I'm trying to get under control. So I was trying to use a small filter with some phosphate media in it and that, just to keep more space for the fish and that, but it just wasn't working. So I've added a Tunzi. I think it's a I can't remember the number now, but it's a Tunzi Comline filter, and it's doing quite a good job of pulling out a lot of rubbish. As you can see already, there's quite a bit in there, so that floss needs changing again, and that was only put in yesterday, so it's putting out a lot of waste. I've also got Aqua Forest Phosphate Minus in a bag in there as well, so hopefully that is going to bring phosphate levels, or the phosphate levels have come down. Yeah, all not doing too bad. I say I did add this leather coal probably a month or two ago, and unfortunately it came with a couple of aptasias on it, so I added a peppermint shrimp, which is just hidden down the back, probably just scared it off, so I'm hoping he might eat them, although they don't always do that. Coal's doing okay. Main phosphate problem, probably me target feeding this guy at least twice a day with frozen foods, like I've just done, and a lot of it just floats around the tank, and as fast as you try and feed him, all the other fish just jump on the bandwagon and try and eat it. Then I've also added a green emerald crab, I think that's what they call it, I can't remember, mine's gone blank. Oh, he's in the way. Hoping to eat some of the algae, but since lately I've actually read quite a lot of info on them saying that they can be quite opportunistic feeders, so I'm hoping it doesn't go for a fish or anything. Still got this guy, just don't clean the shrimp. I've had him quite a while now, but he any food that goes in, he just dives on it. That's all doing okay. Actually, I've scraped a lot of the algae off, but it was just on this one piece of rock at one time, but it has spread quite badly to other parts of the tank. I've also, this piece of rock here was wedged up down the back to sort of make two separate islands, but I've now lifted it across to make sort of an archway, so hopefully I'm getting better water flow as well. Yeah, that's all around there. So coal's pretty much doing okay. My hammerhead so far is getting massive, and also my toadstool coal, so you see it's getting really big as well. And I added this leather one thinking that my clowns might host it, because when it's open it goes quite tall. There's lots of places inside they can sort of wedge themselves and sleep, but so far they haven't really paid any attention to it, and they normally just wedge themselves in this one. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, it gives a nice backdrop, so I'm quite happy with it. So there, if you go, the main issue I've got, I think, with it, because I'm getting a lot of this, I think it's red cyano appearing, and I did rescue. I did have a this rock with goniopora on it, with a couple left, but it's even that's getting the red cyano on it. So I'm trying to. There's about probably 3 little gonioporas left on it. I even target fed them today, but I don't think they're going to come back. I say you can see quite a lot of the algae that's building up down the back, but I think it could be due to not having enough flow. Where's the peppermint shrimp? Not having enough flow down the back, but I tend to keep the power heads. I've got a Vortex MP10 at this end, and then I've got a Juwel, I think it's an OW10 at the other end. They're off at the minute because I'm just feeding the fish. I tend to like to keep the flow nearer the top, so it sort of so it creates random flow. Whereas I find if you put one power head down the bottom and have one blown across the top, it's more of a laminar flow. So I'm trying to, but the trouble is having them both at the top means you're not really getting a lot of flow down the back. which is rather annoying. So I don't know quite what to do, and I don't really want to add any more power heads. I've got the outlet to the filter, which is lower down. You see it's blowing across that coal. But I still don't think there's enough flow down below. So I'm not quite sure what to do with that. But as you see, the coals are doing really well, and the tank's doing okay. Tank looks really nice, so it's just a case of getting the algae and phosphates under control, and getting the algae to reduce a bit, but I'm not quite sure the best way of doing it. I'll show you a top down view as well, so it's all laid out. See, a bit blue I know. So as you see, my coals are getting rather big. So yeah, everything's doing okay in this tank. I was going to order a Juwel filter and put a Juwel filter back in, because I know a lot of people don't like Juwel filters, but they are actually very good filters, and I sort of regret taking it out now, as there's lots of space in it. And I was going to try and put some biohome media in it, which I think I can't think of his name now, the pond guy on here does, and it's supposed to, if you use enough of it, it should reduce your nitrates, as mine are sitting between, well, I use a Red Sea nitrate test kit, and it's between 25 and 50, so it's a little bit high, but you can never, Red Sea don't do anything in between, so it's sort of a touch and go thing. So yes, that's about it really at the minute. I'm not adding any more coals to the tank. I'm just letting it tick over and seeing how things stabilise, and yeah, just leave it out. So the green star polyps I put here, so they spread across this piece, and I'm trying to create a little Recordia island around here. So yeah, that's about it for this tank. Yeah, so I'm not sure about the Juwel filter. I kind of want to put one back in, and I could take this out in silicon. I'd have to move this skimmer, the Tunzi skimmer, over to this side, and then put the Juwel filter back in this corner and silicon it back in. But they are quite large, and it does take up a lot of space, so I'd have to re-aquascape this side, as you see, because the rock's near the back. See the algae on the rock there, but the rock's too near the corner, so if I was going to put the filter back in, I'd have to move all this and aquascape it slightly. Although in a way I'd like to make this side higher, as it's sort of all one level, so I'd like to somehow rescape this side. But like you say, if all the corals are doing well and everything's growing, it's a shame to move anything, so I'm not sure. I'm just letting things tick over. And so the algae is the most annoying thing. You see, I just cleaned the heater cover, and you see it's already building up again on it. So like I say, I think the main issue is probably overfeeding. I've just fed them again. I'm trying to feed small amounts a few times a day. If I could give this guy constant copepods, I would, but it's not just the paying for them, it's getting hold of them, because it's just a lot of shops have them and then they don't have them, or sometimes you buy them and the packets don't have a lot of copepods in them. So it's just getting a good supply of copepods. I've tried growing them for a while and it did work, but then they just suddenly die off. So, but I mean, I've had him a long time, so I don't think he's starving or anything. I've had him probably maybe a year or so, but he's the main issue to me, overfeeding the tank. But he's such a lovely character. So, but I need to get some Easy Reefs mastic, because he eats that, and that's quite good, because you can spread it over. I'll spread it on this piece here, and he just slowly pecks at it and eats it. So he does have a varied diet. So yeah, he's doing okay. So everything's doing okay. So I've just fed them. The other thing I could do, this is a leftover, I've given them mysis brine shrimp. I always buy the brine shrimp with garlic or spirulina, so it's because normal brine shrimp hasn't really got much nutritional value. And I also add lobster eggs, because I know that the Scooter will eat them. And I did some reef roids, a small amount earlier, just because I don't feed it very often, just to give the corals a little boost. But I say I'm still battling the algae. It's quite bad. See, at the back again. but I do think mainly, as well as overfeeding it, it's the algae all down the back. I do think it's the flow not going down the back, but I'm really not sure where to place a power head along the back. That is the one negative of not having a sump, is because I have the internal skimmer and the internal filter in the corners. Normally, if they weren't there, I could aim power heads further along the back and have them on the back wall, on this back side. But because this and the skimmer's in the corner, there's nowhere to place the power heads along the back. So that's the only. But I'm quite happy. As you can see, everything's ticking over. It's just going to need a bit more maintenance to get things. Hopefully, get the algae to go. And the red cyno is the worst. I really hate the red cyno. It was worse than that. Let's say there's a bit there, and I think there's probably a few bits growing down the back. And as you can see, it's covered that piece of rock. So yeah, that's. I think there's a bit. Yeah, it's building up. You can see it through there as well. I don't see red cyano just growing down the back there. So yeah, but overall, it's yeah, it's doing quite nicely and quite happy with it. Anyway, on to the other tank. Here we go with my Innovative Marine Nuvo Fusion 20. I've just fed these guys. I'm just going to try it. My phone is useless, especially when the light's blue, because it just keeps making it too bright, and this is about the best I can get with this light. But I've just I got fed up with my AI Prime, because I've never been happy with it since I've had it, so I've just boxed it up today, and went out yesterday and I bought a Red Sea Reef LED 50, which so far is a lot better. Much happier with it. So I'm only running it on I think I've got it on 15% blue and 10% white, and that's it at the minute. So see, I've got a Royal Grammar. Gives a lovely you can't really get too much of what the colours like, because it's not the actual tank isn't this blue, but unfortunately this camera's the best it does. So I've got the Royal Grammar, and if it'll focus, oh god, I spend all these money on these phones and they just do not want to work sometimes. So yeah, oh come on, focus. There we go. Right, got some clove polyps I've added. They're on a frag plug, so I was hoping it would fit in somewhere in a hole up there, but the hole is too big, so I've just left it there just to let it to adjust to the new light. So I've got this guy, got the Royal Grammar, and then I've got the Dot Dash Blenny, great character, and I've also got this hiding. I've got a there's a little it's a gold neon goby. He's beautiful. He's a great little character. Absolutely love that fish. And you can see the Dot Dash Blenny in the background. They quite often sit together. Royal Grammar's okay. I've got a firefish in here somewhere, but he's hiding, probably because I've got the camera out. And then I've got two trimmer gobies. See one there. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. Two of these little trimmer gobies that tend to stay down this one end. So yeah, tank's really starting to look nice, and I'm Royal Grammar, nice. As you can see, this light, although the camera doesn't pick up the best, it just gives a really nice sheen. And if I can just dim it down a little bit, it just gives an overall nice colour. So much happier than with this light. I might even put two on the dual tank later, but we'll see how we go. Might zoom back out, but that's the innovative marine Nuvo Fusion 20, which is coming along nicely. So I've got a Kenya tree in the back with some sexy shrimp on it. I did put 8 sexy shrimp in here, but I've only seen 3 of them, and it always seems to be 3, so it's kind of strange. And then I've added a few, I think they're, can't think what, I think they, is it Goniapora? Might be wrong with that one. Or is it Gorgonian corals? They're doing well. So yeah, tank's doing really well. And I say I've just upgraded to the new light yesterday, which gives a much nicer light. Really happy with it. So I'll dial down. Just see the firefish has come out as well now. So yeah, all doing really nice. Really happy with it. Haven't got a skimmer or nothing running on this tank. Tank's been running for about 4 months now. Yeah, so I'm just waiting. Hopefully, once I get some more cash, I might see how it goes without a skimmer. Everything's okay at the minute. I'd like to have add some LPS now. I'm going to try and get a frog spawn coral, and then might try Duncan's. And I'm not sure, an Acan, maybe someone said try an Acan, might look nice. But yeah, it's really doing well, really pleased with this tank. Anyway, that's it for the update. So happy new year, and see you on the next one.